Hi everyone, it's your weather woman, meteorologist Amy Metz. I wanted to update all the tropics. There are some deadly storms out there right now, so I'm going to do a quick overview. It's been a while. I've practically missed Bertha completely. Looking at the Atlantic portion, we can see that Bertha over here, hovering over it, it's remnants now of what was a bigger tropical storm. Winds are now at 25 miles in the center. Yesterday they were a little further south, around 30 maximum. So I'll go ahead real quick to the Storm Prediction Center for storm reports and go ahead and see what might have come out of this over the last couple of days before we move on to what's going on in Mexico, where there could be deadly storms coming very soon, flood-wise. So we do have 4 wind reports from that area where Bertha had been. That was as of yesterday, and the day before, many more. We had quite a bit of cold air coming from the north that was funneling around a system, colliding with air that was pushing up with a lot of moisture in it. Warm, humid air colliding with cold, cool air oftentimes generates these areas of intense differentials that just, comes out with the hail. I saw some videos of hail from friends in this area, plus a lot of lightning strikes. We had some solar activity going on that increased that as well. So now while we're on this view, I can show you water vapor, something that I haven't talked with you all about yet, but very important for tropical weather. We can see here, these bright colors are usually what is dry air. And then there's a down at the bottom here, the guide, legend. So temperature-wise, we can see temperatures, and what this really corresponds with is water vapor, how moist it is. So over where Bertha is, we do see there's some green, there's some white. This is going to indicate to us that there is some moisture left over. But when it comes to rain, there's not much going on out there. I had rain picked out somewhere. I think it's down here, yeah. So the rainfall potential for Bertha looking pretty low today. So got some winds there, just might get a strong gust or two here and there. But my main thing I want to look at, this is water vapor, a little more closer up on the Mexico side. I've been watching this spinning, and it's kind of worrisome to me with all the moisture, the green and white that we see on the bottom here, is telling me that perhaps we could be seeing some major issues with this storm along the Mexico coast. There's plenty of moisture available to the north and plenty to the south that is now wrapping into this very tightly wound cyclonic system. So there's low pressure there. Looking for my large scale, here we go. Taking a backup view of this now, a different angle, we can see where that rotation is, right by this plus sign. I'll put it in the middle. And so what's going to happen here, this system as a whole will be pushed closer to Mexico over the next few days, and with it, it's going to be drawing in moisture that just came. Tropical moisture always isn't a feature that adds extra moisture. When you get tropical moisture, it's going to bring more rain than you see with the moisture that comes from the poles. So this particular storm on the north end has tropical moisture embedded from all the tropical storms I've been talking about that were generated over by India, by the Philippines. Some of this stuff has lingered, pushed on, and is now part of the tail end of a front that's moving toward Mexico much further north. But the tail end is now wrapping in all of this moisture along with the equatorial moisture. So it's very common that we see a lot of thunderstorms near the equator. But when we have systems like this that are spinning and pulling air toward it, because this is a low pressure, it wants to drag in the high pressure. That's the way these things flow, high to low. High temperature corresponds with high pressure, and it always goes toward the low. So it's sucking in the moisture right now as it's drifting toward Mexico. And not just Mexico, but California will be getting some rain here in the next few days, quite possibly like through the end of 7-day period here. I'd say like between day 3 and 7, we'll be seeing quite a bit of rain along the east coast that will move across some of these Mexican plateaus where we are seeing moisture right now. So this can get dangerous. It's been spinning fast. I'm going to go ahead back to the National Hurricane Center now, nhc.noaa.gov. This is a central low pressure here that I didn't even talk about. It's part of that equatorial moisture I was showing you on the water vapor. And now they're calling this a 40 to 60% chance of development into a tropical cyclone. And I would say, the spin that was being generated, I guess is more around here, is what I think could really help generate this into maybe even like a superstorm. If these two things collide and end up around here in the middle as these features around it kind of push everything together, I do worry about this region here. What might happen rainfall-wise especially. So let's heed warnings, stay on top of this ahead of time. Tropical weather outlook for the eastern North Pacific. They do great write-ups every so often, and they'll increase the amount of write-ups they do when there is severe weather like I do. So I'll go ahead and read through this so we're all on the same page and just keep moving forward. For the eastern North Pacific, east of 140 degrees west longitude, a trough of low pressure is producing a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms a few hundred miles south of the coasts of Central America and southern Mexico. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development of this system, and a tropical depression is likely to form this weekend while it drifts northward. Regardless of development, this system is expected to produce heavy rainfall over portions of Central America and southern Mexico beginning late this week and continuing through the weekend. These rains could cause life-threatening flash floods and mudslides, especially in areas of mountainous terrain. See products from your local weather office for additional information. So that high terrain is an important factor here. Anyone who lives along waterways, anyone who lives along the mountains is going to see an increase in rainfall during these sorts of events. So all this air, it gets pushed up. It's generating a big system. And then as air runs into the mountains, it pushes in the mountain. It has to go somewhere. It goes up. When air goes up, it gets colder. And when air gets colder, it turns into raindrops. So it's going to be more flooding. And then the water's got to go somewhere. The path of least resistance, it's going to fall with gravity and just go down whatever drainage ditch it can find, whether that happens to be a flowing river already or one that becomes created by the storm. That's where we see the mudslides. Homes can go down. So if you're living in these areas, just have a plan already. Start thinking about, all right, if this rain starts moving toward me, where will I go instead of my house, so that if I'm living on this slope where there's a lot of mud underneath my home, I won't slide away with it. Just find another place to sleep, somewhere a little safer. And I'll help you if you have questions on what is safe, what's not safe. Go ahead, ask me, or Google stuff, and we can work together. Other than that, we're not looking at anything big. Over by Hawaii, we have some rain that'll be moving in. It's been pretty dry here, just a little bit, especially for Big Island and Maui. We had some rain, but a little bit of cloud cover coming in, and in the next week or two I think we'll be seeing some more rain here again. But our hurricane season does not begin until June 1st. So we have a little while here until our waters warm up enough that we start having issues.